Hi, this is Claire at StudentRDH. So as you can see here, I'm at RDHU. Do you see it behind me? All right. So the reason I'm here is because I want you to see Kathleen, and we are actually in Canada right now, okay? For those of you who are in Ontario, you probably heard about RDHU already, but I'm gonna walk you through the amazing facility and I'm gonna show you what this is about, and we're gonna have a great session with Kathleen because she has so much knowledge. She's an amazing mentor. So let's go together, okay? Let me walk in the room. I'm getting inside and I'm just gonna walk with you through this facility. All right, so I'm just gonna show you around here. This is the front entrance, and I'm gonna flip the camera right now just to show you where I'm walking. So again, beautiful facility you have over here. Awesome. All right, now I'm walking through this hallway. Again, RDHU, we have many rooms over here. Awesome kitchen also, that one they have catering, they have courses. You can get here and some other offices here, and we're gonna get to see Kathleen right now. All right, and later we're gonna walk through the space which is where they hold their courses, okay? So she's gonna walk us through this as well, but let's go meet her right now, all right?
Hello.
Hi. All right.
All right.
Hey, hey.
Hey.
All right, this is her office. Great, amazing facility here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nice
Thank you for
bright
being here
window
with
over
us.
here. Yeah. So I love this space here again because it's so cozy.
I
And
love
it kind of
too.
feels like a second home for your hygiene,
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you.
So I'm going to flip the camera again,
Okay.
and we're going to sit down with Kathleen and talk about tips we have for our new
Okay,
grads and
sure.
everything, right? All right, so I'm going to take this camera out of this gimbal.
All right.
All right. All right, so we're back. And I'm gonna. All right, guys. Again,
Hello.
thanks for being here so far.
Yeah.
You can wave at us if you hear us, if you see us. And we are in Canada right now, right?
Yeah, we're in Canada.
Ontario. Ontario, let's say, is kind of right of Chicago.
Yeah.
Right east of Chicago, kind of. Yes.
North.
North, yeah. North for sure. North for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks for being here. You can introduce yourself. You can put your name out there.
Nice.
And you have questions for us. We're here right now. Kathleen has so much knowledge. She can tell you anything.
Anything
so this is
you
your
want.
time, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
And later in comments as well. So
right.
I'm very excited to have Kathleen. You've been doing dental hygiene for
a long time. I graduated in 1989.
wow.
I went to school in the States.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Erie Community College.
Erie, oh, that's
Yeah.
like across the
Yeah,
border here.
yeah.
Okay.
So I was there for 2 years and then came back up. And at the time, we were under the RCDSO, so the Royal College of Dental Surgeons of Ontario. And now we have our own college. So, but at the time, so I came back up and did my board exam.
Mm-hmm.
And then from right when I was a student, I would say almost immediately, maybe two to 3 years in, my husband started traveling a lot with his work.
Mm-hmm.
So we were always, going to new offices and, I was always like either a temp somewhere or new in an office. And so we moved I was in Brampton, Ontario, and then we moved to Kingston, which is about 3-4 hours away.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there moved out west and practiced out west. And then again, eventually came back here to Ontario. And one of the things that I noticed right away was that every office I worked at had poor quality instruments. So hence I started an instrument company. So I was always really good at sharpening. It's something that I mastered. So that's one key I want to say to all you students: master sharpening, master your sharpening skill. So that's where, I built my business on that.
Yeah.
So I really, I train people. We have a nice, easy technique for chairside sharpening. We can't chairside sharpen anymore. Most provinces we can't. I don't know about the States. It's an
Usually we can.
infection.
Yeah, usually
It's
we
an
can.
infection control concern
Really?
now, and that just came out in December of 2018 in Ontario.
I see.
But because it's not a medical device license, the stone, and there's no proof that it's actually being sterilized. So now that might happen. I think it's going to happen all
Everywhere,
over. Because it was in Alberta for many, many years, and now it's here. So, so sharpening was my thing. So it's the first thing I want to tell you is that don't compromise yourself. When you start to practice, don't go into a practice and not feel good about the tools that you're using, right? Because most times, I hate to say it, they're not going to be the best instruments out there. So you're going to have those sickleized curettes, you're going to have stubby toes, you're going to have instruments that you won't even recognize what they are. And so it's really hard for you. So I started my own company. It's called D Sharp Dental Instruments, and I've since sold that company. But it's one of those things that it's hard when you're new to get into an office and to be coming in saying, oh, I need this, I need that. They're going to be like, who's this?
Yeah, who are you?
Donna coming in here. Or this guy who thinks he knows everything. But, it's one of those things. So you have to really watch the way you approach people. But don't compromise. So if you can't, if they don't have good instruments for you, then buy your own, right?
Okay.
And there's so many different companies that you can look at that can help you put together kits. You don't have to have. That's the other thing is, why is every kit the same?
You're right, yeah.
So we don't use half of them. So if you scale down, and you could do instruments that could be like a dual Gracie, where you could have one that could do the entire mouth, plus one universal sickle, right? So you have your regular recare kits, and then have specialty kits,
I see,
right?
I see.
So that's just one other thing I can think of to help. Just to get you started.
All right. So one message I get here is don't compromise, first of all, because, especially when you start temping as a new grad, a lot of office might not have the tools that you actually need.
Yeah.
And at school, we are taught a little bit more like gold standard. It was fresh new instruments.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
We don't not necessarily have that anymore when we practice.
Right.
And you'll see dentists and specialists. It's also budgeting. It's not like they can afford everything.
Right. Yes, but nowadays the instruments are so much better. Like back in the day when I first started, they would get dull after every sterilizer, right? And then you'd have pitting problems, rusting problems. But now instruments last longer, and we're doing more and more ultrasonics. So if you approach, I always say to anybody who wants to change something in the practice, to put together, it's like a case presentation, okay? This is what I'm working with, right? These are the pros and cons. Most times there's no pros. And then this is where I want us to be. And this is where we can take the practice. So as an employer, if my team came and said to me, I think this is going to help us, and they have something, it's not just like complaining, we need new instruments. Don't come to me and complain. Have a plan, right? Have details. And then if you're going to go on an instrument management program or whatever, this is who's going to sustain it. We're going to assess our instruments together. We're going to make sure that we don't have, kits that we don't need. Like we're going to scale down and have specialty kits, right?
Awesome.
So that's that. And then the other thing I was thinking is to be proactive.
Okay.
Right? So if you start off right and you have a positive attitude.
Yes.
Right? You're happy. You're very positive. Don't get into the gossip. Don't get into all the negativity that can happen in a practice. Right? So if you kind of go in there and be yourself. Remember who you are and what's important to you, right? Because often what happens is people come in. Do you want me to move in? People come in and they'll kind of conform to what's going on in the office, right? And then all of a sudden you're not the person you were when you started, and then you can tend to not enjoy what you do, right? And you can get pulled into some negative experiences.
And people is huge. The influence. Even if you think about your own class, I'm sure there's some negativity there. You get pulled from that negativity. And if there's positivity, you feed off that positivity as well. So office politics also, be careful and make sure you are a positive person.
Right. Yeah, you just don't want to, if somebody wants to gossip, just don't partake in it, All
right. Well, cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Right? Just coffee.
Coffee.
For real.
Not vodka.
For real. All right.
What was else? The other thing is just stay engaged. Love what it is you do. Like, so many students come to me and they're like, in Ontario, we have to submit our quality assurance. So it's like, and we have to do that everywhere. You have to show your quality assurance, your continuing education, right?
Yeah.
So don't wait until you're being audited, because it's going to happen whether you're in the States or in a province.
Yeah.
We all have to show our competency. Yeah. So, and don't begrudge it. Love it, right? So think about what interests you. What's going to help take you to the next level? What's going to help transform your dental hygiene practice, right? And then if you really think about it that way and you can get excited about it, that'll keep you engaged, right? If you're not staying involved with your professional development and you're not continuing to learn, you're going to not enjoy it so much. Right?
All right. So when do you think the new grads need to start thinking about CE courses?
I would say right out of the gate.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I really would. Because then you're starting off creating good habits, right?
Okay.
Now, I know sometimes there's like a money, we have our debts and everything, but there's a lot of free stuff online too, right? So start with that. We do have something here, it's called Dental Hygiene Quarterly, where every quarter they get 3 hours of CE. Not expensive, it's manageable. Find out something that is good for you, that will keep you learning, because to me, learning shouldn't stop after you finish school, and you shouldn't wait till you have to submit.
It's actually the start of our lifelong
That's
learning.
just the beginning, because even with instruments, right, we were taught really just the basics, but when you get out, there's so much else out there that's going to help you take your instrumentation to the next level, or ultrasonic tips to the next level, right?
Okay.
Yeah, there's things that are safe for us to learn when we're in school, and then once we get very comfortable with the anatomy and the root morphology, and you're like, you can sort of navigate better throughout, then you can start implementing other things, and you can only learn that by taking courses, right?
All right. So if you have an instrumentation question right now, because Kathleen is the guru in not just instrumentation and everything actually, but she obviously owns her business of instruments and sharpening. She's the guru in that. So if you have them, you can post them right now or later in the comments. We'll make sure those gets answered. And can I ask one question on behalf of the student is, when you graduate with a kit, right? Like, a few of them.
Right.
A lot of students are compelled to sell them, thinking I'm not going to use them
Keep
anymore.
Them.
Okay.
Keep them.
Here's
Do not sell them, because if they're yours, don't let anyone else use them.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Take them to your office, especially if you're starting in an office that you think you want to stay at, but they're not really providing you with instruments. Bring your own.
Okay.
Then they'll get to know you. They'll get to trust you, respect you, and then you can use your own instruments and then slowly build up your own kits again.
All right.
But yeah, definitely use your kits.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't try to sell them. Keep them, especially if you're temping. If you're not sure about what they're going to have in the office.
Oh my gosh, when I used to temp, because we moved around a lot, so I would temp, and it would make or break your day. You get into an office and it's first thing in the morning, and this is not going to be a good day because of the instruments are such bad. So bring your own with you. Yeah.
All right. So here's the answer right away. And I mean, to be honest, I was also in that boat when I was a graduate student. I'm like, what am I going to use this for again? But they're useful, and they're almost brand new at that point anyways.
Invest in yourself. Think about that. So even if you're not buying your own instruments right now, investing in yourself means you're bringing those are yours, and you need to just take care of you, because the worst thing you can do, and early burnout, fatigue, is using poor instruments, dull instruments that you can't even recognize. That's a biggie.
And I would like to ask all of you if you are very comfortable with instrumentation, though, because the reason I'm asking is because we realize so much now on ultrasonic, on piezo. I mean, it's easy, right? The calculus comes right off. There are many tips too. However, I think what we forget is the instrumentation sometimes, because we had this ultrasonic from the very beginning. So do you feel like sometimes we, as soon as you graduate, we almost need a refresher of what we learned and a continuing education?
I do. And I think you need a refresher on everything, really. You need a refresher on ultrasonics. You need a refresher on instrumentation, because you're only going to learn what you can learn at school, but it doesn't end there. And you'll be amazed of things that you don't know. You don't know what you don't know, right? Yeah. So when you take, like what I learned from you, even from today, just talk about, it's amazing the things that are out there that you can't even think about until you talk to somebody, and you're like, that's amazing. Learning new techniques, learning how to help, you know, if you have a stubborn papilla that's you know, cut off, like you can reshape, you can get some health back into that, but you can't do that if you're not taught how to do it, right? So yeah, there's a lot of neat things out there, tips and tricks from people who've been practicing for a long time. Like here at RDHU, we have great clinicians who put together wonderful programs. There's a whole series of different courses, ultrasonics, instrumentation, different things. Like even like we had somebody who was talking about dementia. She was here last week, and it's amazing the things that you learn and how you can, what to expect and how you can help people, you know? Awesome. It's amazing, yeah.
So if you are especially in Canada, so we are right now in Ontario, but check out RDHU.ca.
That's right, yeah.
RDHU.ca in order to see the courses they have, and a lot of them are hands-on, and that's great because sometimes, hi Diana, thanks for being here. If you have a question about instrumentation or anything, Kathleen, she knows everything about everything. So ask her, okay? Because sometimes, you know, I would love to say I know a lot of things. I mean, I do exam prep, I know how to study and how to get you ready and pass the boards and all that, but I mean, I'm also learning from professionals out there who've been doing this for 20, 30 years, and my job is to bring those best people to you so you can continue. So we're talking about continuing education courses, especially if you're in Canada, in Ontario. I would love for you to go to RDHU.ca and see all the things they have. And you talked about the mastery skills.
Mastery of skills. Anna Louise Tolan teaches that. It's mastery skills 1, 2, and 3, and it's really just taking it's really transforming your dental hygiene practice. So the whole thing with RDHU is it's transforming the dental hygiene practice for you, the clinician, for your practice, and for your client, right? So, or for your patient.
Awesome. Yeah. And RDHU has also other courses that are not just instrumentation, that are really
process of care.
Yeah, process of care. We also talked about dementia, so that's another thing, and another
complementary. The laser. You do the soft diode laser.
Have you ever heard of laser in dentistry? So the dental hygienist can use laser, not the same one as a dentist would. There are many different types. However, laser is a hot topic, and they have a course here at RDHU about that. Again, this is Ontario, so if you're in this area, definitely someday come take one of their courses. All right,
sure.
So Kathleen, we talked a lot about what we can do as a new grad, how can we advance, but let's talk about something a little bit more fun. Can you share with us any mistakes you made as a new grad or when you practice, you know, just so that...
You know what? I don't even think of them as being mistakes because I feel like I learned so much as I went along. And again, not really knowing. I guess one of the things I would say as I made a mistake was that I let somebody early in my profession intimidate me. And it was almost like a bully situation.
Another dental professional?
A dental hygienist. So I felt very insecure because I was new, and I let her, and she would make me cry. And I knew that I was a great dental hygienist, but it affected me. She wasn't with us very long, but when she left, I realized that was a toxic environment, right? And I shouldn't have allowed. I was young too, so I feel like sometimes it would be nice to go back and be new at what all the things I know now and have the confidence, but have the confidence in yourself. Again, don't compromise. Things, you know, I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but things that will help you in your practice, be prepared. Look at your charts the night before, right? I was always very much an intrapreneur. So in Canada, we can have our own dental hygiene clinics, some of the provinces, right? So that's an entrepreneur. But being an intrapreneur, to me, it's like you're working in a practice that you love, and you're treating it like it's your own practice. If you do that, you cannot go wrong. Like, you will be in an office that is so happy to have you. Smile, be happy. I used to be known as that happy dental hygienist. I was also labeled, Hawkeye, because I could find everything. And selling, you have to sell. And people are like, oh no, I don't sell. You do sell, but it's selling a service that you believe in, right? They need that treatment, and don't think, that person, the way they're dressed, or they can't afford it. A lot of times people are comfortable sharing treatment plans with clients or patients from that relates to what they, or it reflects to what they have in their own bank account, right? So if you had $10,000 in your bank account, you're very comfortable, you have a nice lifestyle, you're gonna be more comfortable talking to your clients about work that's $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, right? But if you are struggling, living paycheck by paycheck, that reflects on what you believe somebody else can afford, right? So it changes everything. So be very aware of that, and know that you are selling, but it's something you believe in, right? It's important. What we do is so important that don't dismiss it. And if you can come up with ways too that you can stay in touch with people. So I find that so often it's frustrating as a dental hygienist. You work so hard when they're in your chair, you recommend this, that, they leave, and then 6 months later they're back, and you're recommending the same thing. So if you can, I have a company I work with, and they do automation. So to me, that's a great thing, because you stay connected with your patients after they leave. And then, because it's frustrating if you're doing the same thing over and over again. So it's finding ways to really stay engaged with your clients. We've got great courses too that things you can do. You can have your own YouTube channel in your dental hygiene practice, or your dental practice, where you're staying really connected, right? You're like, if you want to educate them on something, you can send the email, and here's subscribe to our YouTube channel for this is like way out. This is way off for you guys, because you're just graduating and getting into the world. Excited, but just think about, there's so many things out there that will help you stay engaged, love what you do, take care of yourself, make sure that you drink water throughout the day. That would be one of my mistakes, was that I was always, and don't wait for the dentist to come in and do the exam. Have it so that the dentist can come in anytime throughout the appointment, right? Okay. Because you could be thrown off 20-30 minutes because you're waiting for he or she to come in to do the exam. So if you start off right, do a morning huddle, who needs exams, when you can expect to see somebody, because you want to stay on top of your time. Time management is so important. Don't fetch for things. Look for things like, if you know who's coming in the next day, figure out what you need, plan it, have it there, so you're prepared for the day.
I see.
And these are all tips that will help you have more energy when you're doing your hygiene, because otherwise you go home, you're beat down, there's nothing left for your family at the end of the day. Make sure you bring healthy snacks, right? Like, people tend to starve themselves, they don't go to the washroom, they wolf back a sandwich,
and don't compromise on things like that. Like, if the office doesn't allow you, give you the environment to drink and eat enough, and go to the bathroom, because that's a common joke that we never have time to go to the bathroom, and we're gonna have urinary tract infection because of that. Don't let that happen to you. And it's part of it is, I think, us as a group. Thanks for sharing the thumbs up. You can send them. So part of it is that we sometimes feel like we don't have enough power as dental hygienists in a dental office. It's different. Yes, there's a boss, there's a dentist, or whoever the owner is, but we also have to know that we are playing such a huge role in any practice. Nobody survives without a hygienist. Like, no dental office survives without a dental hygienist. So that's how important you are. So put your foot down if you have to. And I love about this bullying situations, because those will happen. Like, you probably have
don't let it happen. Have confidence in yourself. And don't compromise and stay in a place. If you're in an office that you know right away, like, I don't really like it here.
Yeah.
If you don't make a change, you're going to be there 2, 3, 4 years
Yeah.
later.
Mm-hmm.
So be open to
Changes.
new possibilities and keep looking for something that's a good fit. I was very fortunate. When I think about all the offices I worked at, I was always well respected in my practice. Yeah, I was able to, you know, buy the things I wanted, and but I was a very positive person, and that makes a difference. When you are positive, people tend to, you can bring up an office, right? So just believe in yourself and enjoy it and love it, because it's a great profession. I've had a great career, so many different aspects for me, and
now, I mean, Kathleen, I think she's done so many things, which is awesome. So obviously clinical. She also had 3 children, 3, and also so created a few businesses too. That was in instrumentation, sharpening, scrubs. Also,
I started a company called Scrubs Couture, and it was back in the day where there was only ugly scrubs. So we were like one of the first ones. We had like the Asian inspired, the bootleg,
amazing.
And then I sold that company as well.
Amazing.
It wasn't my favorite company because we would sell like a pair of blue pants, and then the next year somebody wants a blue top, and they're like, oh, it doesn't match anymore. Well, you've washed those ones how many times, right? But it was, you know, but I think we were one of the first companies that brought style to, because it used to bother me, like to see people in their Mickey Mouse and their, but it depends on who you're working with, right? Flosses and sloppy, and you want to look professional, right? You want to look professional, right?
When you look professional, you feel professional. Patient can feel it as well.
And
your dentist will respect you more. I mean, it just goes all around. And that does not mean get an expensive pair of scrubs. That doesn't mean that. Get something that fits you kind of properly. Don't let like loose things hang around. You know, discoloring. I mean, you know, maybe you should prevent that. So Kathleen done that as well, and now this is RDHU, which is a whole
10
education.
RDHU,
10 years. 10 years of education, not just facility, has online portion as well, and also the magazine portion, the newsletter portion.
We do. Well, we have. Not really a magazine. It's a publication. It's an online publication, and our On Track Tuesday. If you want to opt in, you can go to our website, and there's a form you can just fill out there.
Very easy. RDHU.ca again. So she has so many experiences, many different fields. I think an inspiration to all of us to know that there's clinical, there's also other things. I'm not saying stop being clinical, but some great tips of how you can prevent this burnout, because we always hear about this burnout. Even before I went to dental hygiene school, people were warning me about you're gonna be burnt out.
Right.
Like, I didn't know what it was.
Some of the things now, loops. Loops. Now everybody has loops, right? Mostly all the schools. So that's perfect. You have loops, sharp instruments. Mind your posture. I remember one of the first bits of advice the dentist gave me, and it was my first week there, and he said to me, he goes, my word of advice is don't adjust yourself for your patients. Adjust your patients for you, right? And that was great, because I always thought about that. All right. Because you can have a long, successful clinical profession or career if you do those things. If you compromise and you're using dull instruments, you're going to be or terrible ultrasonic tips. You're not going to last very long, right?
And I'll share with you right now that very honestly. So if you look at my fingers, I have small fingers to begin with, but I know I'm gonna have osteoarthritis. Literally, it's in the family. So, you know, for that, especially if you see they bend like in a weird ways, and I can lock them in like weird shapes anyhow.
Wow,
So, you know, that's why like instrumentation, having sharp instrument is so important for me. So I don't have to like press forces, because if I do, actually they bend laterally.
Right.
So, you know,
you
like
don't
light instruments. I prefer lighter instruments than the heavy ones. And then good posture. So I'm working on a C course with and I invited the chiropractor to actually teach us.
Good.
And one of the first thing he told me is like, we keep looking at patient, and somehow our head get like blocks in this position. But he said every time you tilt like your head like even 10 degrees, you're putting double the weight on your back.
Right.
So just getting it back straight up like that, you know, not, but we
tend to stick our head, especially with our phones and everything,
now
right?
it's like that.
Yeah. I'm always so mindful of that. And
Going
stretching, that's the other thing, is stretch as much as possible throughout the day. Because you want to, and massage. I used to go for massage every week.
Yeah.
So every Friday afternoon, I worked, 4.5 days, and then Friday afternoon, I always went for a massage.
And was that on your own cost, or do you think there's a reimbursement sometimes for that?
At the beginning, I was on my own cost, and then I had insurance for a little while. And then I didn't, and now we have insurance again. Not for everything. We don't have insurance for dental, which is really a shame with my husband's work. But insurance is nice. But if you can go, even if you alternated chiropractor in 2 weeks, the next 2 weeks massage, like something, so it's consistent. Yeah. If every week's not manageable, at least every 2 weeks you're seeing the chiropractor or massage therapist. I think would be a great thing.
I love that you mentioned that, because I cannot live without my massage. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a luxury, which is not a luxury.
Especially not in our profession,
Because I know my boyfriend, he knows I get like snappy when
you need it.
I have tension here. I'm short on everything. Right. Which is not great at the end of the week. So
he's like, oh, it's time for massage.
Go away. I know to like have a rhythm, and my sister, she's a dentist too, and we know this is not even, we don't really care about the facility, the whirlpool, things like that. It's more like about who's good, who has good hands. Yeah. And if you find that person, it's just like, it changes.
Keep them.
Keep them.
That's good.
Yeah. So recently I actually went to, her name is Kathleen. She's a master RMT.
Wow, I never heard of that.
I know. It's like RMT, registered massage therapist, but she's above that level. And nice. I'm like, whoa. Like, I mean, it's more expensive, but it really just helped me so much, because usually it would be 1 week and I'm done. Right. But it's been 1 week. Tomorrow would be 1 week and I'm okay.
Yeah. So you're not snappy at all today.
No, I'm not. Right? See, I'm not.
That's good.
So, I think that's a great point that we don't really talk about when we're at school. When you're at school, the teachers want you to pass the boards. Teachers want you to just start your career, get your first job, but there's so much more afterwards, and you probably have 100 million questions about insurance. I mean, even massage is one of them. We would advise you to get them as soon as possible, and also where do you take your continuing education. RDHU is one of them, and also when do you start even continuing your education? Well, Kathleen said right away, this is a good habit to build. And also don't compromise in your office, and we talked about instruments too. So I think I learned a lot, and I hope you all learned a lot. If you have comments and questions, put them over there, and I'll share you the website on the comment as well, so you can click on it if you want to.
Thank you.
So I was today here in Ontario in Canada, and I go all over the places, right? But today here was in Ontario, and you see in the background here, right behind Kathleen, says RDHU. And let me just quickly walk through the classroom here. Is that okay? I'll just take the whole thing with me then.
All right.
So again, they have a whole facility here, a classroom, and this is more like hygiene school, after hygiene school, but not being graded or anything. This is really for your own knowledge. And this is here the facility. I'm going to flip the screen. And what I really love about this is, Kathleen explained how. Can you tell us about the butterfly thing, like the transformation?
Okay, so RDHU, our logo. Well, first of all, we have the colors that I love: the purple, which is dental hygiene, and the robin's egg blue.
I know. Look at how she's coordinated.
And then we have vines with the butterfly, and the butterfly is there because it's showing transformation. So everybody who comes here, it's not about taking the course. It's not about an event. It's how we can take it, so after the course we are transforming. So just like the caterpillar transforming to the butterfly, that's what RDHU is about. And then the vines are there because it's representing lifelong learning. So awesome. A lot of people don't know that. So
so I love this story because it's not just, come here and do continuing education, or you have to do this as a new grad. There's a whole purpose behind it, a whole mission.
Elevating your practice.
Awesome.
Elevating you as a professional, and it's personal growth as well.
All right. Yeah. So here we're in the classroom. nice, and I'd like the fact that it's not a huge classroom. Okay,
Yeah.
we're not on top of each
It's
other.
all with windows, and which is lovely.
Yeah.
And then we have a section back here with our chair. We pull everything out. We can do a U shape. Fit about, maximum would be 40 people, but
Yeah.
most of our hands-on, we tend to stick to 15 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And can we talk about this chair?
Oh, this was actually recommended to me from one of our colleagues.
Yeah.
But do not, because sometimes this room is being used by other people, so
Yeah.
they're sitting on it thinking it was a massage chair. So for us here, we don't really do anything with, like, we don't have a compressor, or everything is just really demo, right? So we have our Dexter heads set out. We have a different station set out with, you know, Anna Louise does like cantaloupe with a tee, you know, with a tee, like a golf tee, and different things that she does, which is great. And then we'll do our whitening, we'll do laser, instrumentation, so many different things that we do for hands-on. And yeah, so we just pull all this out when it's time for a course, and yeah, we do quality assurance workshops, weekends.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I love that there's a lot of windows here. Well, you know, when you come here, you don't feel like you're in a classroom. And the vibe, I attended one of their courses too as well. That was about a few weeks ago, right? The feeling I had was like everybody is learning but supportive, and also everybody. It's just because it's flipped. Like, anyways. Everybody is here in a good mood. You know, it was a Saturday. It was not like, oh, I have to go to school and I have to learn this. I'm going to be tested. I mean, yes, you're tested just because we need to get our CE credits and get our completion. But it was like a much, you know, positive environment. So I was here, well, not this specific facility, somewhere else, but one of their courses. All right.
Yeah, it's all about networking too, so staying together with like-minded people, and that's what we find, like, even aside from the education, the experience that people have is unbelievable. And then at RDHU, we try to, I shouldn't say we try, because we actually really make it about the before. I was telling you that earlier, the before, what can we do to really make it a wow experience, the during while you're here, and what does that feel like, what does it look like, and then the after, how do we support you after you leave so that you actually implement change into your practice.
Awesome. So if you want kind of a support group of your own in dental hygiene after you graduate school, you're here in Ontario, I think this is the best place to do so.
Thank you.
All right.
And for online, Dental Hygiene Quarterly.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And again, comments if you want later, and we'll always be here to answer them. This was Kathleen at RDHU and Claire at StudentRDH. All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.